What up, homies? It's your boy Stev, and welcome to the bracket. Back in 2020, like most of the world, me and Ash didn't have a lot going on, so we decided to make a list of the 130 greatest movies of all time and pit them against each other, tournament style, to see which ones came out on top. We judged them against each other in 5 categories: production, writing, acting, originality, and rewatchability. Whichever movie took the most categories moved on. Don't get me wrong, it was rarely unanimous between us, but it was always a lot of fun. Just a heads up, we did record these a few years ago, so if the timeline feels a bit weird, that's why. If you want to check out the list of the 130 movies, I'll put a link to our website in the description below. So without further ado, let's all go back to the land of 2020, where all we did was sit at home, drink excessively, and watch flicks. Enjoy. Shawshank versus Green Mile.
Yes.
Initial thoughts. Spoiler free.
2 very long movies. That was probably the longest day ever. And at first when I thought of 2 prison movies, there was a second there where I kind of thought this is honestly going to be the longest pair up. And actually it wasn't. I actually really enjoyed them. Yeah, they didn't seem that long. It was necessary. Can I say that?
No, I actually do agree. Especially both of them based off of Stephen King novels. Shawshank being based off Stephen King's short story, but still,
right.
They were long, but necessary.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so it's funny. Okay, right off the bat.
Okay.
I watched The Green Mile first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did
time.
I.
Okay. So I've seen The Green Mile before, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
Me neither.
Okay. Yeah. Where I've seen Shawshank Redemption a couple of times, and
okay.
I know it's a fucking good movie. Okay. I know it's a fucking good movie. So, I'm like, I'm gonna get the shitty one out of the way. Let's be honest here. All right. Let's. We all know what's gonna win. I'm gonna get the shitty one out of the way. So I throw it in. And I'm watching it, and I'm going to be honest, about halfway through the movie, I was like, oh, fuck. This is a good fucking movie. This might be better than The Shawshank Redemption. I was like, oh, my God. And, Tom Hanks is so fucking good in it. I'm like, oh, my God.
Michael Clarke was great, too.
Let's throw it out there. Everybody across the board. Sam Rockwell.
Right, I agree.
Spectacular.
I agree.
One of his first performances. One of the first times anyone's ever seen him. You know what I mean? And this was a fucking excellent year for movies. I believe it came out in 1999, if I'm not mistaken. And, that is, one of the greatest years in film history. So, oh, man, it stands up. It stands up with all these movies, right? And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is so good. And, I enjoyed every fucking second of it, and I'm like, oh man, Shawshank's got a fucking problem here.
Yeah.
And then I put Shawshank in. Now here's the thing. Okay, so Green Mile's a fucking great movie. I'm not fucking taking it away, but The Shawshank Redemption is spectacular. There's something so raw about it. Okay, it's Frank Darabont is the guy who directed the flick. He wrote it, I believe, as well, and you could tell it's one of his first movies. There's something so you could tell he has fire still.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's still
something
young.
To prove?
Yeah,
right.
he's exactly something to prove. Here's the thing. I love Casino, the movie Casino.
Okay.
But Goodfellas and Mean Streets are better fucking Scorsese movies because they're him when he was young and raw, right? I fucking love Kill Bill. It's amazing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, spectacular. But I mean, Pulp Fiction,
right?
It's raw. Right. There's something about it where it's you didn't quite figure out his style yet. You know what I mean? Green Mile, great fucking movie. But I gotta give it to Shawshank Redemption. I'm gonna fucking show my cards early. I give it all 5 points of mine. I just got to
right.
Unless the Green Mile takes all 5 of your points, Shawshank Redemption is going to win this battle. I'm throwing it out there. So right off the bat. So what do you got?
So So no spoiler version.
No.
Okay, so out of the 5 points, that was actually very hard. It was tied for a minute. It was 2 points for the Green Mile and 2 points for Shawshank. What I mean by that is, like both storylines were great. I do think both storylines were necessary. There was a part of Green Mile that should have won, but the fact of like the magic part of it really kind of turned me off a bit. Because I'm like, okay, well, now we're getting a little silly. Now it's kind of silly territory. Like showing him like with a little yellow ball in his mouth. It kind of turned me off a bit.
Okay. But here's the thing, right? Like, I do agree. There were some moments where it actually got weirdly childish.
Thank you.
And I don't know
my
why.
word exactly.
Like, it's like he's trying to be fun.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, that's a weird.
But it's a very gray movie, and then they kind of try to throw in some like happiness or some like upbeat, and it completely threw me off.
Yeah.
So for that reason, Shawshank got the 2nd point.
Yeah.
But it was the rewatchable for me.
Oh.
What movie can I watch after again and again and again? And Green Mile took it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think I can watch Shawshank a second time tomorrow.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Okay, so going back to the supernatural element of the Green Mile. One thing that Stephen King does really well, again, both of these are based off of works of Stephen King.
Yeah.
One thing he does really well is he takes a very, very ordinary situation, and maybe not ordinary, but real world situation. Example, The Shining. A bunch of people stuck in a fucking hotel in the winter, and they can't leave, and one of them goes crazy. Very real world. You know what I mean? It's like something that could actually happen. And then he adds just one supernatural element to it. With The Shining, it's the boy can read people's minds. And he's really good at that. A lot of his stories feature things like that, and I really, really like that. And so when I watch The Green Mile, it feels more like a Stephen King story because of that. But at the same time, that's based off of a novel, whereas Shawshank Redemption is just based off of a short story of his.
Right.
But like, man, Shawshank works. It's so good. And like, Tim Robbins, okay, even just acting, just right off the bat, Tom Hanks is great. Tim Robbins is spectacular in The Shawshank Redemption. Which is funny because he didn't get nominated for an Oscar. You know who got nominated Best Actor actually was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, but it's Morgan Freeman.
I mean, it's true.
Come on.
And do you know who he lost? Do you know who he lost to that year?
No.
Tom Hanks.
Okay, so I see. So he wasn't nominated because of Morgan Freeman. But Morgan Freeman lost because... Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I guess he was... I guess they...
To be fair, though, I didn't find him that...
I thought he was so...
out of this world to me.
Really? See, I thought he was so, like... likable. There's something about him that, like... You could tell he's really smart... and he's just figuring things out. Do you know what I mean? And, like... and he does that for fucking decades.
I do like that he does the small... He's... not a rusher, and he's not like, okay, I gotta do this right. He's
playing the long game.
Playing the long game, and I like that. It works for the movie perfectly.
Yeah. So, I almost spoiled the ending of the movie. So okay,
me too.
Me too. No more spoilers. I'm sorry. Okay.
But yeah, so
I'm giving it 5 points. So you
Green Mile took the 3.
3 out of, but okay.
3 out of 5.
Respect for. I mean, Green Mile is a great fucking movie. So, like...
Okay, so we do have to say this really quick because this is, like, the first episode. This is the first pairing. I do have to tell you that when we decided on the list, or he decided on the list, he paired it up with a movie that was equally or around the same subject. Now, if Green Mile was against any other movie, I don't know. But because they were both jail movies and they both were long movies... Mm-hmm. That's why it was a perfect pairing.
Well,
you did very well pairing those two together because I got to tell you, that point difference, that's like that won't happen again in this whole thing.
Yeah. No, well, that's the thing. Like,
2 movies were great.
I mean, they had to be paired together, if you ask me. Like,
right.
They're both made by Frank Darabont. You know what I mean? Based off of works of Stephen King, prison movies. Like, how do you not? Right? And they're both spectacular movies.
Right.
So, and that's the thing. It's like not only are they two really good Frank Dernbach movies, but they're probably the best two prison movies
Right.
ever created. I can't think of a better
Well,
prison
when
movie.
I was actually telling people about like this little project, right? Somebody like, not somebody, excuse me, people. The first thing they said, Green Mile's on that list, isn't it? And it's the first movie. The first movie.
Yeah.
Are you like not Alien, not any of these random like Green Mile? And I just kept, what? Yeah, it's the first one. Like, why do you guys keep saying Green Mile? But you're right. It's because it's such a staple. Yeah. And then once you hear Green Mile is on it, your brain automatically goes Shawshank. Yeah. Shawshank then has to be on it.
100%. So,
which is funny because I've never seen Shawshank before this.
No shit.
Yeah, so that was my first time watching it. Green Mile I watched years ago, like you, but yeah, it was very, very close, extremely close.
Nice, cool. All right, I think that's good for the ranking. Okay. So there you have it. Shawshank's moving on. Green Mile takes the first loss, but just because you've lost doesn't mean you're not a good movie. I don't know.
But to me, Green Mile won, so it's a very even.
Too bad Shawshank is just a near perfect movie, right? So, coming up next, spoiler section. Stay tuned.
Spoilers! Okay. Yeah, that was a deep spoilers.
Cool. All right.
So,
spoiler section.
Spoiler section. All right. I do have to say, okay, I said earlier that Shawshank got a point, but the second point was the ending.
Oh, the ending of Shawshank is...
I have seen a lot of movies in my days that now I can pretty much guess the ending. There is about maybe 4 endings in movie history that really surprised me. Shawshank was one of them.
Really, eh? So you didn't see it coming at all?
Did not see that coming.
No. It's
at all.
It's Ocean's 11 good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're shaking your head. Oh, there's Ocean's 11. Okay.
We didn't get there yet.
I gotta throw it out there. Ocean's 11 has a spectacular ending, but it's just like one of those, like, and it's one of those things where, like, once it's revealed, everything makes sense.
Man.
Yeah.
And it was so, I loved Morgan Freeman's line when he's like, he said it would take him, 100 years. It actually only took him 6. And I was like, he got out with that shitty little thing. That was, I knew it was in the Bible because the cop came in to search the room and he held the Bible under his arm when he was searching. And I'm like, that little fuckers in that Bible. Yeah, but I did not expect that at all. I didn't. No, I did not expect the shoes that were left for the boss. I did not expect any of it.
And it makes so much sense, right? Like, because you think, like, okay, he's an accountant. Why even get involved in doing other people's taxes and stuff? Like, why get involved with the warden and shit? Which, ironically, got him stuck in there longer. Because if he would have just kept to himself and then that guy showed up and vouched for him, he might have got out sooner.
Right.
But the fact that he set himself up and then bezzled money for himself.
Right.
I think it's genius.
And then he shined the guy's shoes and that just kind of worked out because then he stole his shoes.
Yeah.
And everything just went perfect. That was a great, compared to Green Mile, that was an amazing ending. Green Mile didn't really have that effect on me in the ending.
I thought the ending of the Green Mile was fucking weird. Can we talk about this for a second? I mean, is anybody else worried about the cancer lady? Okay, so he fixed the mouse's bones,
right?
And then fixed Tom Hanks's piss tank, and they're going to be alive for 150 years. He sucked a tumor out of a woman's head.
I never thought of that.
She's gonna be alive for 200 years. She's probably going crazy. She's gonna be like a Bond villain. I'm worried about this. I think this guy's powers is not good. This is not a good thing.
There was I did see this and it was hilarious. There was a Reddit thread. I don't have it in front of me, but there was a Reddit thread and someone said, can we discuss and calculate how long Tom Hanks is going to live for? These calculations were insane because they were like, all right, well, if the mouse heart beats this much and it dies that day in the little thing, that means he is going to live to be 400 or something stupid. And there was a whole Reddit thread about how long is Tom Hanks going to live for? Which is hilarious that you said that, because now I'm like, wait, that poor bitch is going to be like 500.
Like, I'm doing the Home Alone face right now. It's like, okay, like...
Which is funny, though, because he got old at the end. That's what confuses me.
Does he have... Okay, so the bladder infection, was it like a life-threatening illness? It probably could have been, right? He definitely could have died from that, eh? So, like, maybe it's as bad as the tumor in the head.
I don't think so.
But I don't think it was like the size of a grapefruit or something.
Okay, so I don't think so because of where she was in her death sequence. So he wasn't close to death. But she was. She was like,
it almost killed him.
So I'm thinking,
to take
like,
out of her.
How much power, how much more he took from her compared to him. Because he just kind of turned around and, like, lied on the bed and kind of napped it off, you know? But he, like, couldn't breathe after her.
Were you weirded out every time he opened his mouth and bugs came out?
I didn't like that.
The first time I thought it was really cool. And the other, like, 500 times I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is getting weird.
I just don't like...
And everybody looks at it, like, they look at the sky, like, oh, my God.
Man, I don't like the whole, like, magic thing. It was weird. And I didn't like, how the warden was like, what is he doing here? And Tom Hanks was like, it's fine. Trust us. And it's like, no.
This guy's huge.
No. And then he's like, where's your wife? And it's like, you let him in your house.
Legit, though, if I had no context and that was the opening scene of the movie, I would think that Tom Hanks is like, we brought somebody to kill your wife for you. Don't worry about it. We're going to put her out of her misery. Like, I don't know. Like, because that's what I'd be thinking if I was like, I'd be like, why the fuck would you bring this guy of all people? Like,
and he let him in. He's like, just do your deed. Whatever, man.
Yeah, just get it over with.
Get it over with.
No, but...
I did not think of that. It's hilarious. Yeah, because honestly, though, I see why. Like, to be fair, like, I've been with my, at my job for many, many years. And if I looked at Eric and I said, man, like, trust me, I actually think he would. I think he'd be like, okay, like... But I cannot believe he let him in that house, up the stairs, into his wife's bed, touching his wife. And then kissed her.
And
like,
like
the
made
whole
out with
thing.
her. Like, if I was him, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on right now?
That's it, though. But, like, how did you guys figure this out is another question.
Yeah.
Like, how did you find out he has powers? What did he do to you? Like, the whole thing.
There's no conversation. Just trust me. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but all of them just in this truck, trust me. Yeah, the whole thing is just like, okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
I do love, though, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Let's go.
I did love that he got rid of Percy and the guy at the same time.
Me too.
I really enjoyed that. I did not expect that.
I really like that too. Okay, which movie had the better villain? What do you think? Like, Percy... Okay, Percy was a piece of shit.
Well, who was the villain really in Shawshank?
The warden, who killed that guy, who was gonna, like, get him out of jail.
Oh, see, I think...
That was because the warden's kind of a piece of shit, and then there's that moment where he leads that guy outside, and then he shoots him. And then he tells him he was trying to escape.
I don't remember. I just watched this movie like 3 days ago. I have no clue.
Okay, there's that guy who comes in and says, oh, I was cellmates with a guy who said he killed that couple.
Okay.
So he was...
And then he went to the guy, and then the guy was like, I don't have enough evidence to bring this to trial.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll testify. I'll gladly testify. And he's like, hey, why don't you meet me outside? And then he goes outside and he shot him.
Oh.
Because he wanted Andy to stay there and keep doing his taxes, I guess, or like embezzle money for him. So it's like...
I missed that.
Oh, that's the only thing that makes them... I mean, they're all really shitty people. And even, like, right off the bat, Clancy Brown's character, like, the security guard,
right,
who, like, I guess the warden's, like, right hand in Shawshank, right off the bat, he beats a guy to death.
Yeah.
Like, he beats a guy, and then everybody's, like, laughing, and like, hey, when's the guy getting out of the infirmary? And then the doctor's like, what are you talking about? Like, there were no doctors there. He laid there all night and died.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, oh, fuck. Like, right off the bat, it's like, holy shit. So, like...
I know what you're talking about, because he dragged him in the middle of the aisle or whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't know, though. I think Percy's a better villain. I think he's like... He's a piece of garbage.
So the only way I can explain Percy is he's the Joffrey of Greenville. He is the King Joffrey.
He is the
Yes.
Joffrey of this.
He is, though. Like, I could just, if I ever meet him in person, I would just smack the shit
Sean.
out of him. Like, you
Smack
as a
him in the mouth,
person,
you
I
know?
fucking hate you. And he's like, no, I'm a nice guy. I'm like, fuck you. You suck.
He's the worst type of person because not only is he an absolute fucking piece of garbage, but he's such a wuss.
Whenever
It's
the buddy grabbed him and
comp.
he peed himself.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to be an absolute piece of shit, at least kind of be overconfident or,
Right.
like, be, like, I don't know, badass or something. Like, those are the two worst qualities in a human being.
Which Joffrey is a little
100%.
bitch.
He's the worst.
Yeah, but he was a little bitch, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I know
was so
exactly
happy to
what
see
you
him
mean.
again.
I know. And then, like, I loved, the whole scene is terrible. But I loved that, like, whenever he didn't put the water in the sponge and he tried to turn away and Tom, like, turned him around.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, you're going to watch this. And it's like, holy fuck.
Even, like, telling him right before he's about to die, like, oh, by the way, there's no mouse circus.
That was so
like,
sad.
what's wrong with you? Like,
That was so, the guy was a fucking asshole. And I loved that he did that to him. I loved it.
oh, me too.
I
Like,
loved it. He deserved it. And then I remember him saying, like, I took care of both your problems, boss. And I was like, yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
What a
And
good
the guy is now in a mental institution.
Deserves it. Fuck that guy.
But yeah, I think Percy was obviously apparently better because I don't remember the other one. So there you go.
But yeah, that's all I got. Anything else on Shawshank or Green Mile?
Nothing we won't say in the next part of the segment. So no.
Thumbs up. Finger guns, finger guns.
Finger guns, finger guns. And if you guys have a different opinion, then whatever, go find another podcast. I'm just kidding. Stay with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.